them pegs.
Okay, thank you. Here is my gorgeous boyfriend. Typical man will not be using the instructions. This tent apparently sleeps 4, although we feel it comfortably sleeps 2. You have to use your imagination to guess where the other 2 people would sleep. We're currently in Normandy, in France, and this is now the 5th time we have erected this tent.
Short pole.
This is the short pole, which is marked in the centre by grey. However, it is clearly the shortest pole and goes to the back of the tent. Very simply inserted into the pre-machined sleeves. And then on either end there are short posts at the end of the sleeves are inserted into. And that gives the main structure of the tent. This is probably the most time consuming part. At the moment, as I said, we are 2 people. I'm normally there as well. Normally, or recently, we've been staying in France where there's been very little wind at all. So you'll see shortly. Dartmouth and the New Forest have tested this tent to its uppermost abilities, and it outlived a caravan awning which apparently was ripped to shreds, and this survived. So that's an indication of how hardy and sturdy this little tent is. So that's now the front section of pole, which is the slightly longer section, and then they just pop in at the end. So now that's the main part of the tent secure. And then we have 5 pegs, 3 at the back and 2 at the front, that secure the tent to the ground. Also, what we've just realised we probably should have done, which we've realised in the past, it's slightly easier if the tent is zipped up at the front when it's erected.
Loosely peg.
Just loosely peg first to get yourself positioned where you want to be. So yes, as I was saying, we have found that it's slightly easier if the tent is zipped up at the front. However, as you can see, it doesn't matter, and you can now see the tent is taking shape. The other thing we have found, although it does come with an internal porch, as you can probably see, it really is quite small. So we tend to keep it open. So in a high wind you may want to use the guy ropes. As you can see here in Normandy, with a light breeze, this tent really is structurally sound. We've also purchased our own pegs. The tent did come with some, obviously, but they weren't as sturdy and heavy duty as we would have liked. These are much better. And the other thing we found is sometimes with hard ground it's difficult to remove them. So Adam has fashioned his own tent removing device, which is basically an old tent peg folded over with a hook on the end. You can purchase them. Yes, I would like to look at the back. Right, as you can see, this is looking good. Can't wait to get in there. There we go. So these are the guy ropes, if required, in a storm. And we have witnessed 2 storms, both in England of course. The other thing we have is a tarpaulin, which is also a Vango tarpaulin that we sometimes we sometimes put on the front, but on a decent day like this there's no need.
Get that out in a minute.
We'll get that out in a minute apparently.
Right, would you like to have a look inside? See how big it is.
He's very forward. Right, let's have a look inside. We have an inflatable airbed, which fits either way, lengthways, widthways. We've tried both, depends on the ground. We've recently experienced some slightly hilly ground, so you adjust obviously accordingly, otherwise you feel as if you're sleeping on the edge of a mountain. And as you can see,
And stop the clock.
Yay, thank you very much, gorgeous boyfriend.